Hello and welcome to my thoughts on Friends Forever 1 and 3. I know I don't normally link together single-shot comics into these discussion videos, but you know what? Uploading 2 individual videos, they're probably like 5 minutes each. Like, God, that's so annoying, am I right? So I'm just gonna put these together into one video, and I'll probably do that for the rest of these Friends Forever comics. Try to do like 4 at a time or something. But anyway, issue 1, if you haven't read it yet, you can click here and I'll read it for you. Alright, everyone ready? Let's go. So, this is a very weird story. It is also a very silly story. But I will say, this is peak Pinkie Pie. I mean, maybe I'm just going through Pinkie Pie withdrawals. Like, geez, how long has it been since I've been exposed to Pinkie Pie? So she was in the Transformers. She had like 1 or 2 lines in Transformers. Does that even count? Before that, 5 months. It's been 5 months. Probably 6 by the time this video comes out.
Oh, she's just written so well.
And besides this top tier Pinkie Pie content, look at these fun and colorful fonts. Where's this been all my life? Every other comic just has the same old font every single goddamn time. They don't have colors. Look how fun this is. Wow. God, I love this Pinkie Pie line. How can I get to the Hedgemaze Center without all this knowledge sloshing out of my brain? Anyway, there's some big cool cooking competition happening, and Pinkie Pie is gonna dominate. But wait, what's this? Applejack accidentally enters the competition. And now she has to fight Pinkie Pie. We were closer than brothers. Now we have to fight each other. That was the first thing I thought of when I got to this part of the story. God, I love Yu-Gi-Oh! Anyway. So when I said Applejack accidentally entered, she took someone else's spot. Marine Sandwich, and now she's livid and literally murderous. She's down to kill her. But she's not important, she's the random B-plot / comedic relief, but I don't think we actually need comedic relief in Pinkie Pie as the main character. But presumably the reason Applejack gets mistaken for her is because she plows into this chick's tent and drapes herself in a large red cloth, which Marine Sandwich just so happens to also be wearing. Other than that, they have literally no similarities. So I'm guessing no one really knows what Marine Sandwich looks like. Anyway, back to Pinkie Pie. Pinkie was too busy worrying about learning every recipe she could. She forgot to bring a dessert to be judged. Oh God, what's she ever gonna do? I guess just lose round 1 to Applejack. Rip. While we are here, I did tweak the dialogue very slightly. I just moved these 2 sentences around because I needed her to end on think if I was going to do the brain blast bit. I was actually just going to do a regular brain blast, but then I remembered that stupid Jimmy has a brain blast, so obviously I went with that one. So Applejack wins round 1 and we enter intermission, which, doop. First thing that came to mind, Henry Stickmin distraction dance, so that's what we got. And this is where the story takes a turn. It is no longer about Applejack and Pinkie Pie fighting it out for glory. It's about Pinkie Pie and Applejack throwing so that Toffee Truffle can win the money. Gotta say, throwing the competition was not the first thing I thought of when Toffee said she needed the money. The first thing I thought of, well, technically the first thing I thought of was, oh man, so did Joey. But the second thing I thought of, oh, if either one of them wins, they'll give her the money. You know, like Yugi and Joey, not to keep bringing up this one Yu-Gi-Oh! Analogy. Boy, was I wrong. They decided the best way for her to win was if they lost. It's not like they're the only 3 contestants, this is a full party of 5. I mean, it's just like in WoW. What do you do when a sweet piece of spellcaster gear drops for your mage friend? But the goddamn priest needs on it too? You need on it, and then you give it to them if you win! You don't pass on it! You never pass! But all it does is make Toffee kinda depressed and self-conscious. Because Pinkie Pie and Applejack think Toffee is so shitty that they have to cook worms and garbage in order for them to lose to her. Nice move, guys. But unfortunately, even their worms and garbage is still tastier than her desserts. Meanwhile, Marine Sandwich is still trying to get inside, but keeps getting kicked out. Like I said earlier, this is a very weird and silly story. Anyway, now that Pinkie Pie and Applejack are actually trying again, what amazing dishes do they make for the judges? Well, Applejack pulls out an apple. And that's it. And Pinkie Pie makes some delicious pies, and then repeatedly throws them in all of the judges' faces. I thought they weren't trying to throw anymore? What the hell is going on anymore? Well, I guess Pinkie says she had a lot more fun trying to not win. So I guess it is in line with her character to continue to have fun at the expense of winning. You know, a classic trivia trot scenario. Still kind of throwing, but I guess that's her decision. Applejack's just straight throwing, though. Meanwhile, Blade's making exquisite works of art that, unfortunately, in the first case, he set a judge on fire. Oops. Gotta say, though, that chocolate horse sculpture looks fucking sick. It's got a sweet fire made and everything, and it's made of chocolate and not even melting. Unfortunately, the second one he made did melt. And because it was just the same thing as the first one, the judges didn't seem to care for it. And then Summer, well, it seems like she just got shafted. I don't think the writer really cared that Summer was here. Feels bad, as the judges didn't even judge her final entry. But I suppose she could have not made anything and was too busy panicking the whole time. If that was the case, she still got shafted because it didn't explain that very well. But anyway, main girl Marine pops in and traps everyone in fondant, which, if you don't know, is gross. And then in a big collaborative team effort, Pinkie Pie pulls out a party cannon. Toffee fills it with caramel, and then Blade lights the fuse, and then boom! Marine Sandwich is defeated. And then Pinkie Pie eats everyone free. The end. Oh, and I guess Toffee wins by default? Yeah. She kinda won the way she didn't want to win. That sucks for her. But she got the money, lol, who cares? Man, this story was all over the place. It's literally ridiculous. Which is very fitting since Pinkie Pie is the main character. But there wasn't really like any structure to this story. It just felt like random things were just constantly happening left and right. A couple of very minor art tweaks. Blade's horn here is accidentally colored at like his hair, so I fixed that. Blade's horn is actually way more inconsistent than I realized at first. Had I noticed in time that his horn was black in his first panel, and in one other, I would have colored his horn black in every scene. However, I did not catch this until now. Like I mentioned earlier, it's very unsatisfying that Toffee Truffle it basically wins by default. This is a dessert competition, and Applejack literally turns in a freaking apple. Pinkie Pie makes a ton of great pies, and then just assaults the judges with them. Huh? Blade, unfortunately, destroys his creation, and then Summer didn't make anything. And then Toffee just won because she had some very practical caramel, which she used to thwart Marine Sandwich. Wow. There was actually zero competition involved throughout this entire thing. Everyone was so goddamn incompetent that Toffee's victory is literally meaningless. But other than that very unsatisfying conclusion, everything else was really fun. There were so many words I had to look up the pronunciations for. Creme de menthe. Why did she have to say creme de menthe? What purpose did that serve? At least I know how to speak Spanish, or at least pronounce Spanish with that dulce de leche. So when I first read it, I was like, what is that, sugar of milk? I was close. It was sweet of milk. But it's probably more like candy of milk, because dulce can also mean candy, which is the literal translation. Apparently it means caramel sauce. It's been a hot minute since I took Spanish class. But the real point of me telling this story is I learned what else leche means, apparently. The first thing Google Translate told me was leche, milk. And here's me. Ah, yes, I knew that already. And then right below milk, cum. Just cum. I was not expecting that to just suddenly be there. It was very funny. And now every time I look at her saying she made dulce de leche, she's just talking about some sweet cum. Is that how I'm ending this? I guess that, okay, yep, anyway, on to issue 3, let's go!
This story starts off with our Lord and Savior Celestia and Raven.
You guys know Raven, right? It's Raven! Hi, Raven.
It's weird that Spike just pops in person? He could have just sent her a letter. You know, since he was just going to ask a singular question. But I guess if he wasn't here in person, Celestia wouldn't have an excuse to go off on an adventure. Hell yeah. Man, when I got to this part, I could just tell this was gonna be a cute story. We don't get a lot of cute, wholesome-y stories all that often. When we do, they're usually about Fluttershy, let's be honest.
Twilight's birthday is coming up, and Spike wants to get her a brand new telescope. If only this took place a few months later. Rip. I was curious, so I looked up, when did this issue come out? And when did season 4 finale come out? This came out literally just before season 4 ended. Man, rip Spike's hard work. Oh, also slight dialogue tweak. The guard says Your Majesty for some reason. Like, I don't know why he would acknowledge her, so I just gave the line to Starry-Eyed. Anyway, Spike and Celestia are off to the Crystal Mountains to harvest some crystals. You know, for the telescope lens. They're a little awkward with each other. I would have thought Spike and Celestia would be at least somewhat close. This does take place before we get the Twilight Spike backstory from Friendship is Magic issue 40. So we don't have that to go off of, unfortunately. But I mean, Celestia even points it out. Spike literally never leaves Twilight's side, so if Twilight was spending a ton of hours with Celestia, presumably he should have been too. But then again, early Twilight does treat Spike like a pet. So he could have been sitting in the corner just like taking her notes and stuff. Then the two of them start bonding over Twilight's failures. So wholesome. And then dun dun dun, evil lobsters take them into custody. Oh no. I love that Celestia just takes it.
And then she's like, Yo, Spike, you've been on a ton of adventures. Get us out of this shit.
And then Spike's like, Yo, bitch boys, I'm gonna eat your ass. Which is hilarious. I love that his solution was threaten to murder them.
That's my goddamn dragon.
And then the lobsters all crying, Oh, please, Mr. Dragon, please don't eat me, oh god. I love that their names are, rock-based. That's a good touch. So now Spike finally asks her, Yo, Celestia, why'd she just sit back and take it? And she's just like, same reason I sat back and took it against Chrysalis. It's never straight out said, but I'm glad the story alludes to it because there's two scenarios with Celestia versus Chrysalis in Canterlot Wedding. One, Celestia is Yamcha tier.
Which one is the
all-powerful alicorn queen, Celestia?
They both look the same.
You don't see any difference in the pictures.
No.
Or two, she's throwing for content, and that content is Twilight's development. Because, I mean, theoretically, Celestia should be very knowledgeable in magic. Star Sword is her teacher, and she did teach Twilight, presumably, everything she knows. But then again, Twilight loves to read books. So who knows what she learned from Celestia and what she learned from books. It's just unfortunate we never get to see Celestia do anything cool. Like, she just raises the sun, which in itself is an enormous feat requiring a ton of raw magic. I get it. She's basically Naruto, I guess. She's got a huge pool of power. You know, just how Naruto cloaks his allies in his Ninetales chakra. Celestia just makes them an alicorn. There you go, have a bit of my power. Bam! It's just unfortunate we don't get to see her do anything cool with that raw power. At least in the comics, she has fire mode. Okay, I'm getting way off track. Anyway, back to the story. The duo finally makes it to the mountain peak, and then boom, a volcano erupts out of nowhere. I love that Celestia is just running and hopping over lava rivers when she could literally fly or teleport. But nah, dog, that shit ain't fun. This is her time to be an adventurer. And then Spike just had to jump off her back because he dropped the lenses, ruining her dramatic moments. If you just follow her facial expressions, there was zero concern until Spike goes AWOL. Come on, Spike, she's doing a thing! Don't get yourself killed! But luckily, Spike is impervious to lava, and there's actually no threat from the volcano for him. Well, except being crushed by debris. But poor Celestia, not only does she have to move right next to the lava in order to get Spike, you know that boy is molten hot when he grabs her. But oh no, the gang got trapped in a cave. Whatever shall they... Oh wait, Celestia blew it up. Then they get back home, Celestia writes a cute little letter to Spike, the end. And then epilogue, Twilight's telescope gets blown up. I really like that story. It's always nice when Spike gets to be included, and not as a joke. He seriously gets shit on way too often in the comics.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
I don't even know why. I really like the dynamic. You know, two characters who very much know each other and have been well acquainted, but the circumstances in which they meet, anytime Celestia and Spike ever come in contact with each other, it's actually for Twilight, and Spike is just tagging along. So it's only fitting that they bond by doing something for Twilight, and sharing stories about Twilight. It's just a nice story. The letter at the end was really cute, and I liked it a lot. It's also a very nice contrast to issue 1, Pie's the Limit, where that story is very high energy. What's going on? It's all jokes! Ah! You know, it's a very Pinkie Pie story. This adventure is much more chill. While this has the guise of a treacherous journey, the rock lobsters aren't a threat to either Celestia or Spike, and the volcano is a little bit treacherous to Spike. You know, it's just a nice little hangout sesh. I really like both of these stories. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and until next time.